What comes to mind when you think about the Mitsubishi? Probably Pajero or the Fuso lineup of trucks. Well, you know that small car that hit our market some time back called the RVR? Well, it got a facelift, and it's this, the 2019 Mitsubishi RVR. This guy is brought to us courtesy of Yaya Castles. Hit them up, tell them El.P sent you, and let's get back to the video. Mitsubishi has been cooling this segment since 2010. And with the previous version, we had an infestation, though we have an infestation with the CX-5. So just imagine how popular this could be with this new facelift. But is the facelift worth the upgrade? And is it worth your money? The RVR was one of the early contenders in this segment of small SUVs. And apparently, this is one of the best-selling cars of Mitsubishi. In different markets, it has different names. You can get it as the RVR, the ASX, or the Outlander Sport. For looks, it's giving Outlander vibes. With these skinny headlights, you have your indicators and fog lights separate. And this wraparound bumper that looks like it's pulling the face back. It's giving Outlander vibes. And this is due to Mitsubishi's dynamic shield design, where the whole lineup is given a similar recognizable face and components tying everything together. Side profile, nothing much has changed. It has similar looks to the previous non-facelift. Let's get to the back. At the back, the differences are the lights and they got a different bumper. And it's an interesting look where the rear lights give this aggressive look and you have a Thor hammer kind of light like the ones you have in Volvos. No parking sensors on this one, and getting in, it's a manual tailgate with gas struts. The boot itself is a good size. You can put a number of suitcases here and it will keep your things very well. Actually bigger than even the CX-5's boot space. And underneath, you have your tire service repair kit. No spare tire in this, so you have your run flats and tire service repair kit. You get a bit of storage on the sides and tether points to tie down things on all four corners. The seats split in a 40-60 manner, so you can drop them down and it gives you a flat loading bay so you can push things all the way to the front. And that's all you get here at the back. No connectivity, no power ports. Yeah. Let's get to the back seats. I like this feature where you have the place where you can put your seat belt so it doesn't snag when you're putting back your seat up. You have two child seat anchor points on both outer seats, but the door is not so wide, so handling business here at the back might be a bit tricky. Getting in is easy and simple because the car is not too low down. For comfort, that's in my sitting position, about 6 foot. That's the space I have on my knees, and this is my head space. Leg space is pretty good too, because the bottom of the floor sinks down a bit to give you the much more leverage to put your feet on. And the rear seat does not recline, so you can't, as it's set, is the way you'll have it. Materials, you get plastics from the top all the way to the bottom with a bit of soft touch here on your armrest. The seats themselves are pretty comfortable and they're a cloth material. You can get suede, leather in different trims as you go up in the trims. You get this armrest here to help with the comfort again. And because you have a small transmission tunnel, you can see it's a pretty wide car. So fitting 3 gears here at the back won't be too much of a struggle. There's no connectivity here at the back. There's no air vents. So your window will primarily be your AC. And there are no backseat pockets on the driver's seat, but on the passenger seat, there is. It just tells you where the cut costs to give you this car, this price point. That's most of the things here at the back. Let's get to the front and see what we have there. Here at the front, the seats are adjustable. You pull that tab and you bring it forward. So it's drivable with gears of shorter legs. And you can move it up or down depending on how you want. The steering wheel is adjustable too, where you can drop it down, bring it a bit towards you, move it back, and have it the way you want. For materials, and let me just get comfortable. For materials, you get plastics all the way to the bottom, a bit of soft-ish plastics in certain areas, like now around the dash here at the top of the door. On the center console, you have this padded area where you can put your knee to rest. The seats are just as comfortable as the rear, and they're both cloth seats. For cabin spaces, you have your glove box here, a space here at the center console to put your phone, and your armrest, you have a bit of storage, and two cup holders that don't fit my big bottles here at the center. And your door cards are pretty small again, so they can't fit my big bottle. For tech and connectivity, you get this aftermarket screen here. You have your HVAC controls at the bottom. You have your traction control and stop and go button for on and off, where if you're in traffic, the car will shut off. And when you get up and going, it turns back on. You have a cigarette lighter kind of port here. If this car was the four-wheel drive version, you'd have your button here, your gear shifter, ratchet handbrake, and a second cigarette lighter kind of port here under your armrest. The gauge cluster is analog with a small screen at the center, and you have your driver aids onto the right-hand side. You have your cruise control button here on the right-hand side of the steering wheel, paddle shifters that simulate gears, because this is a CVT, but it has this to just give the sense of being a bit more sporty car. And that's for tech and connectivity here at the front. It's a pretty simple car. Let's see what's under the bonnet. Most Kenyan imports will come with this engine, the 1.8-liter petrol engine. It comes with about 140 horsepower and about 170 Nm of torque. For fuel economy, you'll get about 12 to 14 kilometers per liter. But you can get the car with different engines depending on what region you're in, with a 1.6-liter, a 2-liter, a 2.4-liter, or a 2.2-liter diesel. Common issues with this specific engine or with this car is the CVT whine, where you'll find the CVT, because it shares the jet core CVT like the Nissans, it will tend to overheat depending on how you use it. So if you're doing long runs or trying to tow something a bit too heavy or carrying too much load, it will have those issues. So service your gearbox after every 40,000 kilometers and get an oil cooler, and most of those issues will not be happening to you. Safety features. The RVR is surprisingly high-tech. Most 2019 units come with 7 to 9 airbags, including a driver's knee airbag, which is rare for this car price in Kenya especially. Higher trims, you get things like forward collision mitigation, lane departure warning, and blind spot warning with the rear cross traffic alert. In general, it holds a 4-star to 5-star ANCAP and Euro NCAP rating, depending on the specific year and safety pack. Though some older real-world data suggests a 2-star safety rating for older structures. The 2019 facelift has the reinforced body. Simple, practical, and stylish. There's nothing more I can say about this car. By record, they're gonna sell the boatloads of this car with the right price, of course. If you want similar videos like this, here are other videos you can check out. I'm El.P, and I'll catch you there.